Welcome back. This is Mr. Greenstein's Geometry, and we're talking about probability, section 12.5, permutations and combinations. So there's this thing called the fundamental counting principle, and it is some way that we use to come up with all the outcomes in your sample space. So let's try a tree example, flipping a quarter 3 times. The first time that you flip the coin, you could have heads or you could have tails. The second time that you flip the coin, if you've flipped it heads the first time, it could also be heads or tails. Or if you flip tails, the second flip could be heads or tails. And once again, on the third flip, we could have heads, tails in every one of these combinations. If we follow this pattern all the way down to the bottom, we could have heads, all heads, head, head, heads, or head, head, tail. We could have head, tail, head, or head, tail, tail. And the same thing when we follow down this other path. We could have tail, tail, tail. All of these create outcomes. A permutation is when the order matters. So it's an arrangement of objects in such a way that the order matters. And if you look here, the order matters because even though I have head, head, tail here and head, tail, head here, the order is different even though I have 2 heads in both cases and only 1 tail. So permutation means that the order matters and every one of these outcomes is significant. Let's look at permutations of the letters in the word July. The number of permutations are the choice of the first letter, so there's 1 out of 4. There's 4 different ways that we could choose that. The choice of the second letter, there's 3 ways that we could choose that because we've already taken 1 letter out of the mix. Then the choice for the third letter, there's 2 ways that we can have that. And once you've chosen 3 of the letters, there's really only 1 choice for the last one. So the number of permutations, or the number of outcomes, and where order is important, is 24. Let's look at the permutations of 2 of the letters in the word July. What if we just chose 2 of them? What are the different outcomes that could happen? Well, we have the choice of the first letter and the choice of the second letter. Well, the first letter we choose is there's going to be 4 different ways that we could choose it. And choosing the second letter, there are 3 different ways we could choose it. So the number of permutations is 12, or 4 times 3. Therefore, the number of permutations of grabbing 2 letters in the word July is going to be 12, where order matters. And we will continue this discussion in the next video.